pattern recognition and how it seems to be very incompatible with the.
So I'm absolutely an ADHD pattern recognizer, and this is a massive issue. And I created a metaphor about this, which actually went viral on one of my last accounts that got nuked. But what I talked about is neurotypicals. If you have a problem, like you're on a ground floor and there's a door up, above, and you've got to figure out how to get there. Neurotypicals always build a staircase, and they always build that staircase. No matter what happens, they're building a staircase, and they are walking with you up those stairs. They want you to come with them up the stairs. Neurodivergent people have a wide variety of other options because our brains don't work the same. So some neurodivergences may have somebody, looking at every single step and learning every detail of how every step works before they can go to the next one. Other people are not worried about the staircase at all or getting up to that, second story. Some folks are bouldering up the wall with handholds no one else sees. Other folks are building scaffoldings and yelling parkour as they bounce around and move up the wall. Other people have a jetpack, and sometimes if the jetpack has fuel, then they are right up there. And sometimes the jetpack doesn't have fuel, and so sometimes they're just sitting there tinkering with it. And some people have gone on a side quest and have no idea what the hell's going on, right? Neurodivergence has a wide variety of options. But for those who are on, and are in that kind of pattern recognition mindset, they find a way up, and it's usually faster than building a staircase and walking up that staircase. But the problem is the wider community is building the staircase and walking up the staircase. And one of the things that we lose by being so good at pattern recognition is we lose the social bonding of having walked up that staircase together. And it's the social bonding that very often will get people promotions and will get people the jobs when the job market sucks, and will get people those behind the scenes deals. We don't get that because we are already up, sitting there dangling our feet, and they resent us for it. They hate us for it because either the neurodivergents aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, or we're already at a solution and already at an answer, and we went, hey, it's easier if you do it this way. But they built a social network. They suffered together. They questioned together. They didn't want an answer. They wanted to wonder together socially. Because walking up those staircase together, walking it up and building that staircase every single time actually creates bonds and loyalties that we don't establish a lot of times as pattern recognition, neurodivergence. And we often will actually be resented far more because of the fact that we were able to come to a solution rather than walking with people slowly. So yeah, it's to our detriment a lot professionally and socially.
At this point, I honestly believe that the pattern recognition from being neurodiverse is both the best and worst part of being a neurodiverse person, especially an autistic person, in the workforce. And honestly, I'm really starting to wonder if this is part of why so many people burn out, or whatever phrase you want to use it, the way that they do. Let me explain. So for me, everything seems to go in 3s or 4s, usually 3s. So when I get to a new job, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna learn absolutely everything about the job. I'm gonna learn all the policies, all the rules, what makes sense, what doesn't, how everybody does their job, so that I can figure out how I want to do mine. Then goes into me actually starting to work. Sometimes, everybody makes mistakes, but generally I don't make the same mistake twice. I might make 10 different mistakes, but at the end of it, I know exactly what needs to be done, and I know the policies, because that's always a very big thing. From there, we go to stage 3, where everyone is pissed off at you. Now in stage 2, everybody was praising your name. Oh my goodness, you're so good, you're doing great. By stage 3, now they're mad. Now you're probably more effective than they are. You're more efficient than they are. You're doing a better job than they are. And collectively, people don't really seem to like that. So that's when the attacking starts. They attack you for this, that, and the other. Even though you haven't done anything wrong, they don't like that they've been showed up. So you're now the problem. In the same way, I feel like this is why a lot of jobs don't like employing neurodiverse people, for this basically the same reasons in reverse. Well, maybe not quite reverse. Let me explain. My head is doing all the things today. I'm sorry. So you come in, you're just like everybody else. They give you the same spiel, ask us if you have any questions. Our door is always open. We're here if we need you. At first, you seem just like every other new person, but you ask questions, a lot of questions, so many fucking questions. Every time you turn around, you're checking in, verifying, making sure. Now they're annoyed, but they did say, any questions, come find us. Now, that is all still part of step 1. And in my experience, while jobs may find you annoying in step 1, they're not really all that worried about you until step 2. Because in step 2, you have figured out what your job is. You have figured out how you want to do it best, and you're standing on your own 2 feet and not necessarily open to change if it's not a change that you don't agree with or you find unethical or stupid. And since they're not getting the blind obedience they love, well, now you're a problem, potential problem. We really become a problem in step 3. By step 3, you know your job. You know what your job entails. You've probably figured out the best or most efficient way to do your job. Unfortunately for the company, this also means that when they propose a new rule or policy, you're already gonna know whether that's gonna be beneficial or detrimental to you and your coworkers. And if it's gonna be detrimental, you're probably not standing for that. So now you're a problem. Now you're an instigator, even if you haven't actually instigated anything. And this is when they decide you have to go. Ignore the fact that you're actually trying your best for the company. Ignore the fact that you were trying to make your space and your coworkers' job experience better, and that you haven't done anything wrong. You don't fit. So you gotta go. And then you're on to the next one. The sad thing is, if you're anything like me, you probably saw this coming the whole time.